The owner of a white supremacist Twitter account appears to have been unmasked as a prosecutor working for immigrations and custom enforcement in an instance of just great journalism, which does still exist. It's rare now, but James Joseph Rodden, an assistant chief counsel for ICE who represents the agency in immigration hearings in the Dallas area, appears to be behind the account, which regularly shares racist and anti-immigrant takes, as according to an investigation by the Texas Observer. So this is the GlomarResponder account, and it posts things that are, they toe the line of white supremacy, like America is a white nation founded by whites. All blacks are foreign to my people, dumb F. I love that, like, the weird way we are with language, the F word gets censored, but the insane, hateful speech, anyway, whatever. He posted that in September. In August, he posted, migrants are all criminals. 2 months later, he shared an image that reads, it is our holy duty to guard against the foreign hordes. He also said at one point, nobody is proposing feeding migrants into tree shredders yet. Give it a few more weeks at this level of invasion and that will be the moderate position. He also said, my World War II vet grandfather didn't get a chance to kill Asians, so he volunteered for Korea. He'd be asking for a short-term job with ICE, kicking doors and swinging a baton. So he's basically saying, my relative was so mad that he didn't get to kill a member of an ethnic group that he doesn't like, that he signed up for a different conflict so that he could catch up on killing some of them. And oh boy, if he had a chance to go around and bash some brown skulls in or whatever, then he'd definitely be doing it. So all this is terrible. But many of you are probably wondering, okay, the tweets are bad, but how do you know that it's this ICE prosecutor? Like, that seems like a pretty bold thing to say. Well, they did do an investigation. So they confirmed his identity by comparing information shared by the account over the course of years with federal court records and other public records, information from private data broker sites, open source investigation tools, other social media profiles and interviews, and courtroom hearings. And so there were all sorts of times when the account, the Twitter account, would say that they were in a location and he was in that location privately saying it under his own thing. There are references to relatives of his, not by name, but that are the same across them. There's information the account has about court cases that he was a part of that you wouldn't know otherwise. So there's a lot of stuff like that. And one added bit of evidence that I just love, it's chef's kiss. We'll give that to you in a second. Now, he did not respond to multiple observer requests for comment, which detailed the findings of the stories and were sent to his ICE email address. A call to a phone number associated with Rodden reached a man who declined to confirm his identity before hanging up. When approached at a public hallway outside the Dallas Immigration Court and asked to confirm receipt of the emailed requests, he said to call his press office. So he's not admitting it's him. He's also not saying it's not. And if it wasn't, wouldn't you? If it wasn't you sending this stuff, wouldn't you be like, well, no, of course I didn't say to put people in a tree shredder. So I'm pretty sure, but if you're still not buying it, here's that last bit of evidence. During their investigation, the Observer's journalist watched Rodden scrolling through the Twitter app on his phone during a court hearing. He then began drafting a post using a profile photo that resembled GlomarResponder's. A minute later, a new post appeared on GlomarResponder's profile. I feel like you can leave off all the rest of the investigation. You watched him post something as the guy. I think it might be him, Daria. What do you make of it? And what do you think about an ICE prosecutor advocating for violence against migrants?
John, don't you think it's concerning that you get to the point where you're so racist that you can't even contain it? Like, he knows he's a prosecutor and he knows his job could potentially be at stake and he knows what his ultimate goal is, but he's just so racist and so filled with hatred. He's like, I have to share this. Like, I'm going to combust if I do not take this tweet out and get my viewpoints online into the ether for all the world to see. Isn't that strange to you?
It's deeply, he's a full grown man who's like, I just hate these people so much, I gotta tell somebody about it. No, I wish I could do it with my actual name, but I don't even have the courage of my hateful convictions to do that. So I'll create GlomarResponder or whatever. Yeah, no, it's deeply strange, Daria. Any other thoughts?
Honestly, I think that this is kind of just emblematic of what we're going to see in the future. I mean, we saw it with Elon Musk Doge employees and their Twitter accounts being exposed. I wouldn't be surprised if going all the way to the top, They have secret Twitter handles where they're actually probably even talking about each other. Like, I hope someday we find like a fake Finsta that Donald Trump has, like tweeting about Elon, and talking about him and talking about his other staff, because nothing would shock me at this point.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this guy could be hired on to Doge or whatever. And I don't expect JD Vance to weigh in. The guy was just attacking undocumented migrants. If the guy had been attacking Indian migrants in particular, then JD Vance would be required to protect and defend the guy advocating for violence against his wife and children. It's so weird. Again, the domination is thorough amongst these men. But anyway, no, obviously a person like this can't be involved in these court cases. Like, you don't think this guy's gonna like falsify evidence? You don't think he's gonna like break rules or something? He's posting that we should put people into tree shredders and everything. Absolutely insane. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?